We want to feel that turn and that torque. We want to feel those hands go out. And then as the club gets to about here, we're starting to apply a hard movement with our hands and getting that release down on the ball. What's poppin', everybody? Coach Matt in the house, in a boot, shooting videos today because it's raining outside, and I'm like, you know what? Today's a great day to just hammer out some videos, make Trevor work a little harder on the editing portion, get my fair share of our deal out of the bargain here. But I'm getting you guys some awesome tips, and today's video is going to be about the difference between how amateurs, when they shallow the golf club versus when professionals shallow the golf club. And Brooks Koepka is probably a great example of somebody who I want to lean on today when we talk about shallowing early versus shallowing late and why we want to do that. So if you're interested, subscribe to the channel. And if you like the video after you watch it, make sure you comment and like down below. And with that said, people, let's talk about why you're not shallowing at the right time and guys like Brooks Koepka are. All right, people. So today's video, I talked about shallowing early versus shallowing late. And you're like, what in the crap are you even talking about, coach? So when we talk about the downswing and you're at the top of your backswing, I like to divide the downswing into like two parts, right? You're at the top, there's the first half, somewhere around left arm 45, and then the second half from there to impact, right? So left arm 45 right here is kind of like your dividing point. And it doesn't have to be that. It can be somewhere close to that. Now, what a lot of amateur golfers do, and this is where everybody talks about steep and all this other stuff, what a lot of amateurs do is when they come out of the top position from transition, the handle comes down really vertical, right? And so when the handle comes down really vertical, they have to find a way to create a shallow somehow, right? And that's where you start to see the hump as they try to release it, right? But basically, they start pulling the handle down. It's too steep. And then as they try and dump it under is when they start to give it the hump, because that's kind of the motion of the way the club's going. And what happens when we do that is it creates that quick hook, a lot of face instability, so the starting lines are always messed up. They're always starting right or left or everywhere, really. So there's no consistency in the face at impact, and that's, a problem, right? So when the professional's at the top, what you'll see is they will shallow the golf club early, and then the club will get to about here, and then they'll actually start to steepen it on the way to the ground. So the amateur golfer goes steep and then shallow, and that's where you also see a flip, by the way. The professional golfer shallows and then steepens at the ball. And the reason why we want to go shallow to steep is that we can apply a pretty good torque into the handle and a good twist into the head as we create a descending blow on the ball, which is why we see a lot of negative attack angles on tour players. And we see a lot of positive attack angles on amateurs. So what do you need to understand to make this happen, right? So I saw this tip on George Jankis' website, and it was actually kind of interesting to me. But the way he laid it out, and it was a really good point, is if the handle moves towards the ball, the club head will fall behind, right? So bam, right? But a lot of amateur golfers will pull the handle straight down, and the club head doesn't shallow. So we got to get the club head to go behind our hands to shallow, right? And so we will make the handle go out to the golf ball, and that's where we start to create shallows, right? And a lot of golfers think pulling down is the right answer, and it's not. And I've seen a couple of videos out there, people talking about how pulling down is bad, and good for those coaches. They get it, right? What we actually want is from the top, we want to feel that turn and that torque. We want to feel those hands go out. This is actually kind of very Brooks Koepka-ish, where the hands go out way out early, right? And then as the club gets to about here, we're starting to apply a hard movement with our hands and getting that release down on the ball. And that's where we get that compression, the negative attack angles, the better face stability, right? So for us, what we're trying to accomplish is if you're a steepener to a late shallow, okay, go to the top and feel like your hands go out first, and then figure out how you would have to hit the golf ball from there, and that's more what we're looking for. So you can mess around with holding the club with one hand, pushing your hands to the golf ball and watching how the club responds when you're not trying to act on it, right? So we get it up to the top, hands are passive but pushing out, the club head is going to fall back. We have to be careful the club face doesn't open like that one I just demonstrated did, right? So it's up to the top, pull out early, release down to the ball, see a little more desired ball flight, right? So we have to learn how to shallow early so we can steepen late and get a good descending blow, de-loft the golf club, and control the face at impact. And hopefully that little nugget will help stem some thought into your brains out there. So if this tip makes sense, leave me a comment down below, subscribe to the channel, let me know what you think, guys. Until next time, go make some birdies.